business?
Good, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Will. Good evening. I'd like to welcome everyone to the Tuesday, February 17th, 2026 council meeting at 6:30. We'll start with disclosure of pecuniary interest. We'll move on then with staff reports. Councillor Foot.
None from me.
Thank you. Councillor Chalapinko.
None for me this week.
Thank you. Councillor Scott.
None for me.
Councillor Kirby.
And none for me.
Wow, that's around. I'll go fast then. So had a meeting at the Pines this morning. So the Coachy funding that we talked about at our last meeting, the elevator project will start in late May, early June. We took today 75,000 out of reserve to get the project started with the contractor. Then with DSAB, they'll give us $75,000 back in the spring. We'll just put it back into our reserve. It'll be down 4 to 8 weeks. So people that are living in there that are used to the elevator and that people are going to help out and that live there that are very mobile. So it should be good. We interviewed Friday, February the 13th, 6 people applied that we interviewed for the maintenance person's job, and the new person started today. So we had 6 real good interviews. It was a tough decision. Anyhow, they're starting this afternoon. We went over contract clarifications today with the DSAB contract. So any extra expenses, say in insurance, winter maintenance, energy will be covered. They'll make up the difference. So it's not coming out of the finance fund. Hydro costs for the year $22,267.78 and natural gas is $10,554. So fairly expensive to run it. We reviewed our finance and income statements today and all is good. And I have an East Home meeting tomorrow morning. And that's all I got. So I need a mover and a seconder. Councillor Scott. That the minutes of the regular council meeting held February 3rd, 2026 be adopted and published. All in favor? Carried. And need a mover and a seconder. Good. Councillor Chalapinko. Whereas the Council of the Township of Nipissing strongly supports resolution number 2026-009 from the municipality of St. Charles regarding nation building improvements to Highway 11 and 17. And whereas the drastic increase in fatalities and serious collisions along Highway 11 and 17 demand serious attention and immediate corrective actions. And whereas enhanced safety programming is required, including competent and extensive driver education and qualification for commercial and passenger vehicles, increased enforcement of road safety laws, and a full review of the systematic issues leading to these dangerous driving conditions. Now, therefore, we, the Council of the Township of Nipissing, urge the Province of Ontario to reach, implement, and enforce the programming measures. and that the federal and provincial governments work together to bring the 2+1 highway design to Highway 11 and 17 to improve the safety, strengthen supply chain availability, enhance emergency response capabilities, and reduce road closures and life-threatening incidents. All in favor? That was very well written.
Do you want to discuss, so we have discussion on the library. If you
Yes.
wanted to provide it an overview of what we met
Yep.
with, and then.
Yeah, now, do you want to speak to it?
I can do that.
Sure, well, we both can, but, okay, did everybody read this over? So,
So we met with the mayor of Powassan, the mayor of Chisholm, and the clerks to discuss this. Chisholm has requested that their share of the library be reduced to 18%. That would bring us up to 22%. Going over the figures, that would mean an increase in the levy that we already have of $9,500. Because our 2025 levy is already 41,554.92. No, that was 25, sorry. Ours is 46,426.79.
if you take a look at the assessment totals of each municipality,
And we're gonna be working closer with the library, hopefully, to get some data on usage and clarify that. That's a work in progress.
May I speak to this? So at one of our library board meetings, we were discussing who's paying for what and what our demographic is, population. So the population, and this is based on the 2023 census or 2020?
Mine is based on the 2021 in my report.
Okay, so this was all on the 2023.
Okay.
Okay, so the population of Powassan came in at 3,346, which was 52.1%. The population of Nipissing came in at 1,769.
Same numbers.
Okay, so that put us at 27.5%. Chisholm at 1,312 at 20.4%. So that we were crunching numbers, and so I understand where Chisholm's coming from, and yeah, just to clarify, anybody wondering where the numbers come from.
Yes.
Once everybody tells me the way that we, so we'll get a mover and
Okay,
seconder and then
so
we'll fill it in.
I need a mover and a seconder. Councillor Turkey. Councillor Foot.
You can read it and then we can fill it in.
Whereas the township of Nipissing, township of Chisholm, and the municipality of Powassan are members of the Powassan District Union Library. And whereas the library agreement states the municipal levy costs the apportion as Powassan 60% and Chisholm 20% and Nipissing 20%. And a request has been received from the township of Chisholm for the township of Nipissing to assume an additional
2%.
2% is what they asked for. In here it's saying 4, but
This
they
is 4%,
asked, yeah, but
They
they
had
asked
originally asked for
for
4,
2.
and at their last meeting, they went down to 2.
Of the library levy based on the usage information provided by the library and the proportionate population and assessment base of the township of Nipissing. Now therefore, the township of Nipissing agrees to assume the additional 2%. Okay, thank you.
So I'm just gonna change this form.
That's what I processed.
Thank you.
Chisholm at
18.
18%.
Now therefore, the township of Nipissing agrees to assume the additional 2% of the levy and move that the levy cost be apportioned as Wasson 60%, Nipissing 22%, Chisholm 18%, and that this resolution be circulated to the municipality of Powassan, Township of Chisholm, and Powassan District Union Public Library for consideration. All in favor?
May I speak to one more item? So the library reached out to the three municipalities. We had asked them to reach out when they were looking at the funding. The way that the Trillium funding it works is they have to be under one of our municipalities in order to apply. There's a capital repair of the elevator that is required, that is going to be quite costly, and they want to apply using the Trillium fund. And I have volunteered for them to use Nipissing's because we don't have anything going forward for 2026 that was identified in any of the budgets that I've received so far. So this way we can help them to apply and to keep track of that, and hopefully we'll have it funded. And that will save all three municipalities the large expense of the elevator repair, because there's no water in the shaft.
Our concern, I think it's gonna come in around $8,000.
Okay,
Some.
but I know that there's some capital refurbishment that also needs to be done, so I think they're going to be looking at
Yeah.
that in the grant process to see what we can get. So hopefully we can get that looked at.
Yeah, we've already had somebody who has had a look at it to kind of give us a rough quote of what it would cost to waterproof that, drain it, waterproof it. Same, similar elevator to what it has.
Yeah.
It's a hydraulic cylinder.
We've offered our Trillium for 2026, unless there's another use for it, but I haven't seen it.
So I will be received well at the next,
I would imagine, I would hope so.
thank you. I appreciate it.
Aren't you always?
No, I've learned.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I need a mover and a seconder. Councillor Chalapinkle. Councillor Foot. That we accept the tender received from Brent Tractor Limited for the John Deere 870P 2026 wheeled grader new at a cost of $570,650, including applicable taxes, and that we accept the optional purchase of the extended warranty at the cost of $37,737.87, including applicable taxes for 60 months, 5,000 hours, and that the purchase will be financed with a 5-year fixed-term loan from the RBC. Total purchase price to be financed $617,000.00. All in favor? Carried.
That's including a wing?
Yeah, that's no package.
Good.
That's it.
And next you have the fire reports, and then- Not yet. No, there's no resolutions to correspondence.
Yeah.
We're just doing a
We're,
review.
okay. Yeah. So we're going to start off with Will. If you want to just go over your report, we've all read it over.
Yeah.
now.
If there's any
Touch
questions
on
or
things, any
concerns?
questions?
Do you have a breakdown of which was, or how many medical calls versus alarms versus fires and, you know what I mean? Like,
We
you have
can
the
get those, yeah.
spreadsheet? Just,
Something in particular, or is?
no, I I think if we had a complete breakdown for future, for asset management in the future, it would be nice to know that we have the tools for what we're using the most of. You know where I'm going with that?
Yeah, we can break it down a little bit more.
Because, you know, we have like 113 incidences and, but they include, you know, accidents or illness. If we knew what were accidents,
I can do it by percentage
yeah, that would,
without giving too much details.
yeah.
Yeah.
Percentage would work, and because when we're trying to put together an asset management plan for your apparatus, stuff like that.
Okay.
Not necessarily apparatus, but all your other tools.
Okay.
You know, when we're budgeting for it, it would be nice to know that, say, you know, like 90% of your calls are fires. Well, yes, we need apparatus that, you know, if 90% of your calls are medical or.
Yeah, I can kind of, we can work together, yes.
Yeah.
Cause it's hard, because a lot of the equipment we hope we never use,
Well,
but we still have to have it, so it's.
I know you still have to
Yeah.
have it, but when you're updating equipment
Yeah.
and renewing equipment and maintaining equipment, you want to maintain the equipment that you're gonna use the most.
Correct, but also we have to stick with the legislation, the
Would.
NFPA and, which
Yes.
usually bites us, unfortunately.
No,
Yeah.
and I get that,
Yeah, we can.
but
definitely work
you
it-
want to, you know,
Yeah.
part of your risk management, if you will, you want, you know, if you're gonna use this particular tool 90% of the time, then you want to know, yes, you want the best you can get for that. But if this tool, best bang for your buck, best bang
Yeah.
for the tax dollar that's going into it is where I'm going with this.
It's just a slippery slope because we have to be ready for everything.
Well, I know
And
we
we were
have,
having this conversation where even though we're considered a part-time volunteer fire department, we're still trained and equipped the same as a full-time fire department and expected to make those responses. So it's,
And when we purchase equipment, we base it on the needs of the township, like we don't need a custom truck.
Yeah.
When we purchase a truck, we find a stock truck,
Mhm.
because we need water from point A to point B, we don't need bells and whistles, chrome wheels and.
Well, no, I
So,
get that,
Yeah, okay,
but
I can get you
it's
some breakdown.
the other equipment and
Even
And
for
to-
training and stuff
yeah,
too.
to
it's just good
prioritize
information to
training.
have.
Yeah, I can get some more information.
Any other questions?
How was training? Well received and busy all the time and yeah.
We have a busy year.
okay.
The next 3 years are gonna be really busy.
We've got lots of plans for everybody and.
Well, just the mandatory certification,
Mhm.
getting everybody through
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So we have 3 years from a new recruit to get them certified. So. It's we have a dedicated group, which is amazing. So
you do.
Yeah.
100% we do. They make my job easier.
Good. Okay, we're gonna move on to public works summary. So is everybody read it over? Questions?
The maintenance hours, the hours that are under the maintenance project, that doesn't include multiplying out for all of our staff.
Right.
It was
That's just one
that's-
piece of it.
That's the project, but we had usually.
Yeah, like brushing, just take brushing, for instance, it says 130 hours. That's just for one staff member, that's not all staff
Mhm.
members are. Usually when we go brushing, hand brushing, it's all 5 or 6 of us.
Yeah,
Just
So
to
that-
kind of give you perspective on the man hours.
so that's the total man hours that went into that?
Yeah, like that 130 times that by 5.
Oh, I see, okay, so well, it's actually 160, but yeah,
Yeah,
cutting trees, brush by hand, 140 hours, so that was all hands on deck, so that'd be 140 by 5.
right.
Okay,
How are we keeping up on all that?
It grows as fast as we can.
Yeah.
I mean, we did Sunset Cove 3 years ago, and the tag alters are 8 feet high again.
Yeah.
So it's a never ending battle, but yeah, with the machine, we try to get 50 kilometers a year in with the machine brushing, and then the hand brushing is more the roads that where the wings will hit the trees and stuff, so we
Mm.
try to get that pushed back.
Any chance you follow the Phragmites stuff? No?
You know,
Tiger torch.
It doesn't work.
But you are well ahead of the brush.
yeah, we're in good
Very
shape.
good shape.
We're in good
Yeah,
shape,
we are.
it just, it is an ongoing battle.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of roads that need it, but we can't do it because the hydro bell lines run right with the road and the trees are overhanging them, but if we cut it and hit it, it's not a problem.
Yeah.
This way, we just leave it, Mother Nature does it, then we clean up after.
Yeah.
Everybody good?
Mm.
Level of service.
Yeah, and I would like to speak to that, please.
So I just wanted to preface the capital forecast to review the asset management plan 2025 levels of service. So part of putting this plan in place in 2025 was to set levels of service for customer shipments and other services. So I just wanted to go over those. So for the roads, we had set a target of no more than 10 formal complaints in a year. In 2025, we received 2. And we dealt with those directly. I believe council is all involved in those as well. They all copied on them. So we're well within our target. For the technical level of service, we were looking at how our target is less than 2 unplanned closures per year. And in 2025, we had 1, and that was on the Rye Road. And since then, Dan,
Yeah, we put in bigger pipes to try to accommodate the flood when the beaver dam lets go. I mean, we put a 5-foot pipe in and then an overflow pipe beside it, so we're hoping that'll.
Do those residents, are they familiar with the laws now?
it's an ongoing issue. that
Yes.
We're working with them. So we'll move on. Yes, so, and we didn't have any closures of the hills last year.
No.
So that was very good. And so we met our target for that. For bridges and culverts, we met our target because we got funding for the Bear Creek culvert funding. So we have over $900,000 coming in for that. So that's great.
Just to touch on that, Englobe was out today drilling all the test holes, to see what the soils are like, where bedrock is at, so we should have that report in another couple of weeks. So then when we do a tender package, that can go out in the tender package so people know what they're bidding on.
When do you foresee a tender package going out?
We set the budget.
Yeah, yeah, and probably in the next month and a half, I wanna, to me, I wanna order, like, put a bridge out for tender soon, so it's built and ready to go, because it's gonna be a process to build a bridge. So I think the township will purchase the bridge, and then when we put a tender package up for the bridge, if we decide on a bridge or a culvert, then it's ready to go for the contractors to install.
So we're not sure if we're going bridge or culvert.
I think a bridge would be the better way to go, because that water, it's gonna cost us about $200,000 to control that water with pumps, and if we,
Oh, and
if
if
we
we
do a
put a
bridge-
bridge in, we can keep the flow going.
right, we don't have to contend with the water.
So with Lake Nipissing, like Dan's saying, you can have that real nice low water level today, and then all of a sudden you get 70-kilometer northwest blow for 3 days, and that water's 4 feet higher.
Right
Just
back up to creek.
going the wrong, yeah,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
it'll push her all the way back.
It sits about 3 feet of water, 3.5 feet of water at all times, but like it can.
But that's the static following the lake level, right?
Right, so I mean, if we do a bridge, then we're out of the water, the only time we're working in the water is to pull the old culvert out. So,
We can do that with silt bed fencing.
yeah, I mean, we'll just silt fence it off, the contractor will, I mean, we're not, now that we have funding, we won't tackle it.
We put a bridge in, what's the span? What would the
Oh,
span
100
be?
years.
No,
Oh,
like
span 60 feet,
60 feet?
yeah.
Okay.
And it'll be 8 meters wide. We're gonna go a little bit wider, just we're hoping to use 2 sections for the temporary, so we don't have to get a temporary bridge. So we'll use the 2 sections for temporary, install 2 sections, and then pull the temporary, once we get those ones in, we'll pull the temporaries out, put them back in, and then we don't have to rent a temporary bridge because they're very expensive.
Good plan. Yeah.
We also are due for our OSUM bridge and culvert inspections in this year,
This
so
summer, yeah.
we're with our municipalities around us for the same year. And seeing as we've had the failures of the culverts since our last one, I think this one might be a little bit more accurate.
Yeah.
And for facilities, we'll be watching closely.
Consultants you get ready to pay for, right?
And for facilities, our target was less than 1 closure or unplanned incident per year. We didn't have any in 2025. We only closed, I think, well, we didn't even really have to close when we did well here at the community center, but that was something that was planned. So all of the 2026 priorities have been added to the capital forecast, which is the next document. That just shows that our service levels are well in line. Forward with the capital forecast. So first we have general government. We need 2 new laptops and programming in the office. We also set aside money in reserves for that every year, so we'll be taking half and half. Move the SUV to 2027.
Chris. It's a shared vehicle, right, between the fire,
Right now, it's the building and admin.
okay,
I understand that there were some questions during the asset management phase, but we're not at that.
so, okay. No, I was wondering, does it need to be replaced, or the one we got is acceptable, or is it costing us money, or?
It cost us money this year. It's time to look at replacing it, but it will last with the repairs that we've had done. It will last for 2026. So that we can get through this year with our pressing matters. So in 2026 for the reserve plan, we will be putting away $3,000 for our computer server replacements. Next is the fire department. We've moved the auto extrication tools up to 2026. Estimate of $3,000. We do have some in reserves. And that will come forward at the budget meeting because I'm still working through those with the auditor. 2027, we have nothing. And we just moved everything down. The asset management plan actually has the outside of the community center in Station 1 to be either repainted, looking at the siding, doing any repairs required. That is in 2028, so that we have some time to prepare for that. At the bottom of this page, you'll see that dry hydrant projects to be installed over 2026. We do have the necessary parts to install a couple. And then we are going to monitor it and see for success of the operation. And if it works the way that we want it to, then we can look at them in the future. But we'll let that ride until we have some more data for you. Large equipment reserve, $5,000. Communications reserve, $5,000, and fire apparatus reserve, $20,000. Now, we do rent equipment from ourselves. We monitor that throughout the year for public works and for fire. But fire doesn't use their equipment enough to generate the reserve we'll need to purchase. So we add that extra $20,000 to that reserve each year to ensure that we have enough for payments if required. Okay. Next is landfill. We have no progress looking at the landfill. Dan, do you remember off the top of your head what the lifespans were for the new reports? I believe we gained another year on Bear Creek.
Yeah, we gained a year in Bear Creek and we lost a half a year at Wolf Lake. So the compactor is really doing its job.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, Bear Creek, we've really.
And that was strictly compacting that did this.
Yes,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, just, compacted and, yeah, that's the only thing that's changed. But I mean, we compacted quite a bit, so. Probably we move it down, we throw the garbage out of the big hole in Bear Creek probably once, twice a year, and then we compact it really well and then cover it. And then we leave the compactor basically at Wolf Lake because it's needed there more with all the shred trying to push it up to the flats.
Mhm.
So, and then we compact, the Wolf Lake quite a bit. When the guys have an hour spare time, they'll go in and run the compactors.
And how is the, I know that might be a little more than this, but, how is the longevity of the, sites going, like,
The expansion,
for Bear Creek? Yeah,
they're still working on it. There's, they're just, every time we've asked, they just say they're working on it. They're muddling through it.
so we don't have any kind of a timeline. or
No,
anything.
but
They told us it'd be. a
But
year
with the
or two.
gain time, it
Yeah.
lets us breathe a little bit easier
Right,
and put together some.
and when, we'll probably have Tim and Alana come and give a presentation,
absolutely.
and then we'll ask them.
Oh, absolutely,
And
yeah.
then they might have a better time frame now.
We're still gathering some more data for them for their reports and they'll be ready.
Yeah.
So the post-closure reserve is still at 25,000 contribution. Public Works fleet. And in truck, the 20, if, number is it? I don't remember. One was paid off last year, one's gonna be paid off this year, one will be paid off next year. Then they'll all be in line. The backhoe, of course, is in year 2 of 5. Our 3/4 ton is in year 3 of 5. We do have to replace the one pickup truck. And the grader will be in year 1 of 5 for this year, and that is in the asset management plan. Now, the 2 items that we're adding here, the 2 radar speed signs will help us to continue to track and update our reports that
Right.
help us with our data. And Counselor Scott, do you want to speak to the back blade for the tandem truck? You brought that to my attention.
Yeah. It's something that I ended up using and I was very skeptical when we bought it. And it completely changed my mind and how we used to do stuff and the amount of money and it saved and the safety with it brought to the roads. Cause you can go with a rear scraper on a tandem at twice the speed you can as a grader for ice blading. And if you know you're gonna get a freezing rainstorm, you can go out and bear the roads back down to gravel within 4 or 5 passes. And in the summertime, it's happened that if you needed to go spot grading or whatever, because the grader was busy or at another spot, you could literally take the dump truck and go, say, down to Ponderosa and quickly do it enough to make it more than passable. And it saves time and it could save us a fair amount of money. It's just another tool in their pocket if they got it. I know the one truck is plumbed for it already, so part of that expense is already gone.
That's 1%
Yeah.
of
It's,
our taxes.
it's up to everybody else. I don't know if you,
Yeah, I mean, it would be a good addition. I just don't think myself buying a grader this year. I just think we need to push it off another year.
Yeah.
I did buy one truck plumbed because, it is a good idea where we're not running the grader all the way down to the south end, but like I said, buying the grader this year, it's pretty tough.
No,
Yeah,
as long as it's on the radar, it doesn't have to be done this year or next year or the year after, but
It's on the radar, like I said, the one truck's plumbed for it, it's a lot cheaper to order it plumbed than to try and put the plumbing on afterwards. So I mean, it is plumbed, but it's $30,000 to buy that, just the attachment to put on, so.
Yeah.
and how long does it take to put that on and take it off, like in man hours?
Yeah, it's probably like a 10-minute hookup. Once all the brackets are there, it's like a 10-minute hookup, you just back into it and then pin it on and then hook your hydraulic lines up.
Okay, so it's on wheels or,
No, it's just like a box skirt for the back of your tractor.
oh yeah, okay.
It's some similar to that, but it's more like it's got the cutting edges and stuff for ice blading, or you can just put regular blades on.
It swivels
And
both
they'll swivel
ways.
back, goes side to side, and you can put down pressure on it.
Oh yeah, okay.
So, I mean, it does have its applications, but like I said, this year it's kind of hard to justify.
Is there another year that we would like to move it to in the capital forecast for discussion later on?
Possibly revisit that next year.
Do you want me, okay, I can move it to 2027 for revisiting, sure. Okay. Now, if you look, I'm just going through this year's projects, anything in the future, we've gone through and we've put in the public works from the asset management table. We will be starting the Alsace Road Phase 1. And we will do as much as we can from the grants that we have left over from last year and that we get this year. The engineer dig and replace for the Bear Creek culvert. That's also in the asset management table. The reseal of Sunset Cove Road is in our plan, and roof repairs at the garage are required to extend the life of the garage, and that's in the asset management plan as well. You'll see if the projects continue on down, but we didn't do anything for 2036. These all change year over year, so we know the ballpark of what we want to get done, but things can change. We'll just focus on this year. Okay. And of course, we still have Hummel Bridge is listed here at the bottom for future consideration. So as soon as there is any financing opportunities, we will be on that. And I continue to meet with Powassan and we discuss it often. Public Works reserves. So the garage reserve, we put away 25,000. Bridge reserve, we put away 25,000. And for gravel reserve, we put away 85,000, and that is half of what we will require for our gravel run in 2027. In the cemetery, we need to finish the fencing at the Nipissing Union Cemetery. There's a bit more to it. So that is there, and then we also have to do the survey of the Alsace Cemetery. We have ordered it, we just don't have it in yet, so we just moved it. And we're going to, we have to do the licensing and clearing and survey for Alsace Cemetery in 2027. So we added to this forecast in 2034, 2035 to start clearing the new section of the Nipissing Union as you come towards the office. There's the bush there. And I know the Public Works has been working at it as they have time to keep things clear from the fence line, and we'll just continue on with that. And the fence maintenance reserve, we don't have enough in our care and maintenance fund for the cemeteries to cover all of these expenses. And that's why we're building a small reserve to make sure that we can cover those expenses. Next is recreation. For the playground and maintenance, that was planned. The lawnmower may not be required in 2026, so that's kind of a fluctuating one. It'll move to whichever year we need it. And the Chapman's Landing dock was listed in our asset management table for the replacement of the deck. And also we're going to investigate the piers and the structure of the dock at that time to make sure that it's still viable. And make a plan. Correct. In our recreation reserves plan, we have 2,500 going to the dock and boat launch reserve, 7,500 for the community center building reserve, 2,500 for fitness center equipment reserve, and 3,000 for the rink and playground heritage park reserve. This continues down. Museum, the foundation has been completed. We do have another piece that we have to look at. That is not yet, so we're good. I've moved the heritage window repair to 2027 to allow us 2026 to investigate what can be done there and what those costs will be, because I believe that is an old estimate there, and I don't know how much was done.
And we should probably look at grant money for that. anyway.
Yes, and we
Something
were
in the
talking about that.
heritage thing.
Correct. And in their building reserve, you just have the 3,500. And that is it for the capital forecast. I'm not asking council to approve it this evening. Next meeting will be the meeting to have our financial statements presented. It is almost finished. And we will have our first read of the budget. And that after we have the first read of the budget, the council will have a better understanding of where the capital will fall and the implications that will have on our budget. And I figured council might be a little bit comfortable approving the capital forecast once you knew how it looks in 2026. So I will have a resolution to adopt the capital forecast at the next meeting. And-
Good.
Yes.
Okay, correspondence. Everybody's read your correspondence? Federation of Northern Ontario Municipalities, PHENOM, strengthening Ontario's food box program, extending producer responsibility to the ICI sector. Wassen Maple Syrup Festival, donations and sponsorship.
We gave $100 last year. That's generally what we give.
Yeah. Is everybody fine with that?
Okay, we'll move that forward.
Next, yeah. The county, Prince Edward County resolution regarding support for Bill 21, Protect Our Food Act 2025. The municipality of Magnetawan resolution regarding broadband infrastructure costs. And the minutes of the Township of Nipissing Recreation Committee meeting held February 2nd, 2026. So I need a mover. Kirky. Okay. That we receive the correspondence reported as presented. Report, sorry, as presented. All in favor? And I need a mover and a seconder. Councillor Scott. Councillor Foot. The statement of accounts dated January 29th, February 1st, 6th, and 11th, 2026, totaling $225,232.30 be approved. All in favor? Mover and seconder. And we pass bylaw number 2026-08, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council at its meeting held February 17th, 2026, read this first, second, and third time, and passed the 17th day of February 2026. All in favor? Carried. The mover and a seconder. Councillor Kirby. Councillor Stowe. That the meeting be adjourned at 7:14 p.m. Next regular council meeting to be held March 3rd, 2026. All in favor? Thank you, everyone.